Alex is a young atheist, and he has a channel called CosmicSkeptic. He's smart and articulate, but he's usually misled and biased by his atheistic worldview. Today's video is a negation to his recent video entitled "The Case Against Free Will." Here is how he defines free will. Free will is, and I quote, "the ability to have acted differently." And I'm going to use the same definition for the sake of this discussion. First of all, let's see how a world without free will would be. First, truth wouldn't exist, because in order to make a truth statement, you need to have the freedom to think. Secondly, there would be no moral responsibility. You can't be held accountable for your actions if you are not free to perform them. Third, we would always act out of our instincts. Free will is what enables us to rise above natural tendencies. Fourth, there would be no objective moral values. Some moral values are objective because they transcend our neurological, biological, and social boundaries. If we had no free will, these moral values wouldn't have been accessible to us. Fifth, all actions would be impulsive. Surely there's a difference between someone who is acting under the influence of his emotions and someone who has thought before making a decision. What allows this thinking process to be valid is that it's free from emotional drives. Now, you might say, who cares? Because you might not believe in the objectivity of these things anyways. Now, why Alex's case against free will fails? First, he presents a false dichotomy. He says, and I quote, "There are two reasons that you will ever do anything. First, because you want to, and secondly, because you are forced to." But what about when someone is acting out of his sense of morality? For instance, an act of heroism that would cost you your life. Did you want to do it? Not usually. Were you forced to do it? Not at all. So why did you do it? Because you thought it was the right thing to do. In the Apology, Socrates says that a man worth anything at all does not reckon whether his course of action endangers his life or threatens death. He looks only at one thing, whether what he does is just or not. Secondly, Alex equates wanting with acting. He says, and I quote, "In order to change a want into a don't want, you need to want to not want it." But not all failure to act stems from a don't want. If I am hungry and I choose to keep playing video games, the hunger is still there, and there is no evidence that the desire to keep playing is stronger than the desire to go to lunch. It might as well be the fact that I choose to focus more on playing video games for the moment. Another factor might be the fact that I know I can go to lunch anytime I want to. Thirdly, the statement free will doesn't exist is contradictory in itself because the truth value of this statement depends on the freedom of the person who makes it. Fourth, Alex concludes with this statement, and I quote, "You can do whatever you want, but you can't choose what it is that you want." First of all, it doesn't matter, because you can still choose to act out of your wants or not. And secondly, your wants are not self-generating. They can also be influenced by other factors that you can actually control, so you can change your wants, at least indirectly.